shift.
Okay, so I just would like to inform you that we have met the President of the General Assembly, and we have handed over to him a request for a resumption of the 10th emergency session on Palestine. We went there I was there in the chair of the Arab group with the chair of the OIC, the chair also of the last summit, the last summit of the OIC, and the president of the Committee on the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People. So this is a continuation of what happened in the Security Council, and we have decided, due to the failure of the Security Council to take a decision on the protection of the civilians in the Palestinian territory, to continue with the General Assembly.
Thank you, Sabri. Let me begin by expressing our gratitude as the State of Palestine to all of my colleagues who are with us, the Ambassador of the Ambassador of Algeria, the Ambassador of Turkey, the Ambassador of Bangladesh, the Ambassador of Senegal, and the Ambassador of the League of Arab States, who are with us in this collective effort to continue the quest for trying to see the international community shouldering its responsibility regarding providing international protection to the Palestinian civilians in the occupied territory. As my brother Sabri has indicated, that it was very unfortunate that the Security Council failed to shoulder its responsibility last week to adopt a resolution to allow for the Secretary General to consider ways and means to provide protection for the civilian population, including an international protection mechanism. And the veto that was casted by the United States in this connection, after we received 10 votes to the Kuwaiti Arab draft, put us in a situation to assess and evaluate, which we did among the Arab group. We had a special meeting for that. And also we had an OIC meeting. We had a meeting with the Secretary General of the United Nations. We will be meeting with other groups in the days to come, including the African group, the European Union group, and possibly GRULAC and others. We have a short period of time, but we will be contacting everyone, and we are preparing communication to all member states, explaining to them what we are doing, why we are doing it, and what we expect from them to do in supporting this effort. This additional phase, as Sabri has indicated, we met with the President of the General Assembly. He received a letter from both the Arab group and the OIC requesting the resumption of the 10th emergency session, متحدين من أجل السلام, Uniting for Peace, to continue with the request to have international protection for the civilian population. He was very gracious, and he is triggering his own mechanisms. We don't want to jump the gun. We will wait until he announces officially, shortly, when he is intending to resume this 10th emergency session. I believe it will be done very soon, but we are honoring and respecting his wish that he will be communicating to all member states his decision based on the request that was given to him by the groups that we represent. This is the first thing that we wanted to share with you. The second thing that I want to share with you, that today there were 4 Palestinians that have been killed by Israeli firepower in the Gaza Strip. 7 additional ones are seriously injured, that some of them could, as we speak, leave life. And 650 have been injured. We condemned in the strongest term the continuation of these atrocities against the Palestinian civilian population. And in fact, what happened today adds to our argument and to the urgency of providing international protection. We are in the process of sending documentation as usual as mission of the State of Palestine to the UN, to the Security Council, to the Secretary General and the President of the Security Council, documenting these crimes and including the names who have been killed by the Israeli occupying authority. I believe that in the next day or so, these communications will be transmitted to their destination. We are intending to have more meetings next week with the different groups, as I have mentioned, to mobilize the largest number of countries to support our effort. Now it will be in the General Assembly. It will be more democratic. It will allow a larger number of countries to express their support for the endeavor of protection of the civilian population. And we are grateful to all those who will be supporting this effort. And we will have most likely a meeting. I think that our brothers, from Bangladesh, who are presiding over the Ministerial Council of the OIC for a coordination meeting. I think all the Arab states are members of the same group. So we will talk about the tactics and details and mobilization and how to conduct ourselves once the meeting is announced by the President of the General Assembly. We are determined to succeed in this session of the General Assembly. This is the least that we can do in this international organization to add efforts for providing international protection to the civilian population. We thank you very much.
Are you planning to ask the SG in this draft resolution to establish a mission or just to send recommendations? What would be the option here in the General Assembly?
When we met with the Secretary General, we raised with him that he has at his disposal large, infrastructure, legal department, political department, peacekeeping department, and he has large presence of UN agencies and programs on the ground. We said to him, you have capabilities better than any one of us to study the situation, to study what is needed for the international protection mechanism with a view of providing protection. All of us, we will be around you and we will be feeding you ideas and suggestions to be all reflected in whatever report that he will submit within 60 days to the General Assembly, recommending how the international protection mechanism could be constructed, how it could be done with practical ideas, because our objective is to provide protection for the civilian population. So we are not, the resolution is not asking for establishing new mechanisms. The fact-finding mission was decided upon it to be established in Geneva. What we need now is the SG to use the moral authority of his office and his creative ideas of what to propose that could be implemented to provide protection for the civilian population.
Ambassador, some countries in the Security Council either objected, like the United States, in the saying that the draft resolution in the Security Council did not address Hamas issue. Some other countries abstained because they said the draft was not balanced. Are you planning to provide the General Assembly with a more balanced resolution so you get more votes on it? And what's your message to your colleagues in the General Assembly? وباللغة العربية ما هي رسالتك للشعب الفلسطيني في غزة وفي بقية المناطق المحتلة؟
You asked several things. For us, the draft resolution that was put before the members of the Security Council was extremely balanced. In fact, it might be even excessively by the view of some in how balanced it was. There was a clear, attack by the Israeli armed forces, violating international law and, in essence, trigger-happy in killing civilians. And everywhere you go, you will find legalists from Amnesty International to any organization that you want, including B'Tselem, was even telling Israeli soldiers, refuse your orders, do not kill Palestinian civilians. So the issue is that. The issue is not what others are trying to divert the discussion from it. And I believe that we addressed all the concerns in the draft. Maybe not to the liking of all of us, definitely not to our liking. We think that it was excessively balanced, but we know the reality in the Security Council, and we were able to secure the 10 votes to that draft resolution. Those others who want to flip the argument upside down, there was no taste for that in the Security Council. In fact, those who proposed these ideas did not secure except their own vote. We hope that in the General Assembly that the situation would be even clearer in terms of being fair and being balanced by supporting the draft as it was articulated in the Security Council. We are mobilizing all of our efforts with as many as we can reach from groups and member states to receive the largest number of votes possible to support us. However, we know that this subject is a new subject and complicated subject. Although it is not involving the United States, it is involving Israel. Israel forces are the ones who are killing our civilian population. And we wish for the United States of America not to be more royalist and more Israeli than the Israelis themselves. But we cannot speak for them. That is their decision to conduct their behavior in the way they wish. But for us, our intentions and our desire is to find practical ways, supported by the international community, to provide protection for our civilian population. In relation to Arabic of what you asked, what is my message to the Palestinian people? رسالتي يعني اليوم بعد هذه الجمعة الإضافية، الجمعة الأخيرة في شهر رمضان الفضيل، حيث تستمر سلطة الاحتلال في التنكيل في السكان المدنيين وقتل الأبرياء الفلسطينيين المدنيين الذين يتظاهروا بشكل سلمي وجرح المئات منهم كما وقع مرة أخرى هذا اليوم، تزيدنا إصرارا على أن نبقى نطرق أبواب المنظومة الدولية والأمم المتحدة في توفير الحماية للسكان المدنيين لحين انتهاء الاحتلال الإسرائيلي، ولن ندخر جهدا في هذا المسعى وسنبقى مستمرين فيه، لأننا فرضنا على المجتمع الدولي أن يناقش بشكل جدي مسألة الحماية الدولية كما وقع في مجلس الأمن، وسننقل ذلك متحدين من أجل السلام في الجمعية العامة، ولن نتراجع خطوة في مسألة توفير الحماية للسكان المدنيين. فهذا الملف قد فتح ولن يقفل إلى أن تنتهي هذه المذابح ضد أبناء الشعب الفلسطيني في كل الأرض المحتلة، بما في ذلك في قطاع غزة وبما في ذلك في القدس الشريف. ونأمل أن يستجيب المجتمع الدولي للوصول إلى مقترحات عملية لتوفير هذه الحماية الدولية. نحن في بداية الطريق ولن نتراجع في هذا المسعى. الذي يجب أن يتراجع هو سلطة الاحتلال الإسرائيلي، وأن ينهزم على طريق إنهاء هذا الاحتلال وإنجاز الاستقلال لدولة فلسطين وعاصمتها القدس الشريف.
Can you take my question, please? Okay. I have
a message to the Palestinian people. I will try. Okay.
I have been observing the statements issued by the Secretary General and his special envoy, Nikolai Mladinov. In the beginning, they expressed their concern, they have their hearts on the victims, and these statements started to disappear little by little, yet the killing did not stop. Even when the young nurse was assassinated, brutally assassinated, even the State Department issued something, but not the Secretary General, nor his special envoy. I mean, they are tolerating now killing the Palestinian every week, 4 or 5 and hundreds of wounded people without even issuing a statement, and they never use the word condemn. Only the word condemn is used against Palestinians when they kill somebody. So why you don't express your concern about this kind of behavior? Why they tolerate seeing Palestinian innocent people killed day in and day out?
And why is the Arab Ummah and OIC so quiet about these?
Yeah.
Why is it so quiet? Why they don't want to ask the whole Arab community to take some action? Everybody's silent. Why?
Well, I think, that the Arabs and the Muslim Ummah are taking action. The presence here is part of this action. My understanding that there were huge demonstrations in more than one capital, including in Indonesia, faraway places. So our issue is not with the support of our brothers and sisters, although one can always say more can be done. That is true. Let more be done. That's one. Two, our issue and our problem is not the Secretariat of the United Nations, whether it is the Secretary General or Mr. Mlidinov. With all fairness, they issued a statement. And I remember, the very bold statement one time issued by Mr. Mlidinov, in which he had argument with the Chief of Staff of the Israeli Army, saying, how could a child, few years old, be threatening the security of the State of Israel? So then one need to be fair, and I believe that they made statement about the assassination of Razan, including all UN agencies on the ground. They said such assassination to well-marked medical staff cannot be tolerated, and they expressed their outrage against him. Now, we raised with the Secretary General, we asked him point blank, are you going to add to the ideas of Mr. Mlidinov on humanitarian side and economic side, which we are in support of helping our people to alleviate their dire situation in the Gaza Strip? Are you going to add the dimension of protection, the dimension of security for the civilian population? And in essence, that was the thrust of our discussion with him. And we told him, we will work with you. We will support you, and the resolution that hopefully will be adopted soon on providing protection will be empowering and mandating the Secretary General to come up with whatever ideas that could be possibly suggested, utilizing all the tools available to him in the Secretariat and on the ground, and with all of the collective mind of all of us who are ready and willing to help in any possible way. So I think that one might ask them to do more, to use language to our desire. It is your job as journalists. When you meet the spokesperson, drill him on these questions. Don't drill us on these questions. We are on the same side with you. Ask them, and ask them all the time. For this young lady, my message to the...
What you said, and I also need a clarification. Would it be the same Kuwaiti draft resolution to be put to vote at the General Assembly, calling for the protection?
More or less, it would be the same, customized to the General Assembly. But let me just, in Arabic, my message to the Palestinian people, I said that of what happened today on the ground, of killing more Palestinian civilians, injuring more of them, is a testimony to the urgency of needing the protection to be provided. And I said, we will not relent in our quest to try to find ways to provide protection for the civilian population, because it is our duty, it is the right thing to do, and it is the thing that the Palestinian people, including those in the Gaza Strip and in occupied East Jerusalem, they need, and we are determined to do everything that we can in order to provide them, or to contribute to providing them with international protection. That file has been opened. We are in the initial stages. We managed to have support to it by the majority of members in the Security Council, and we are determined to have a larger support in the General Assembly when it moves to the General Assembly soon. and we will not relent until protection to be provided in the path of ending occupation and the independence of the State of Palestine with East Jerusalem as its capital. Last question.
Mr. Ambassador, the Kuwaiti resolution also supports an investigation of events in Gaza. Will that be included in the General Assembly resolution? And what kind of language will the resolution have about the killings, the deaths in Gaza? Will it specify Israel? Will it wait for the results of an investigation?
Well, if you remember the draft resolution in the Security Council, it covered all these subjects. And the draft resolution that will be put before the General Assembly will cover the same thing, same thing. But let me also add, with regard to the investigation that is being handled by the Human Rights Council, they decided on the establishment of the fact-finding mission. There is another also body that is involved in the investigation of violations of human rights of the Palestinian people in the occupied territory. It has a mandate from the General Assembly, and it has been established for more than 40 years, and it is headed by the ambassador of Sri Lanka, and the membership, the ambassador of Senegal and the ambassador of Malaysia, and we are engaging them that they should go to Gaza. And we talked to our Egyptian brothers also to facilitate the travel of that commission to go and to conduct their investigation. Since they have a mandate to do so, they don't need a new mandate. This is in addition to the commission that will be established in Geneva. So we will not leave a stone unturned in order to provide protection for the civilian population. Yes,
has there been any response to those?
Yes, the president submitted, he signed additional, I think 6 or 7, and instruments to that effect have been, sent to their destination. This is a natural and sovereign right for the State of Palestine like any other state. If we feel that it is in the interest of our people to join an X-agency, then that decision will be made by us, not to take consideration of pressure from anyone. And when we decide, for example, that we are delaying joining FAO and the WHO, although we have the sovereign right to do so, we do it out of courtesy and understanding and sensitivity to our brothers and sisters in many of the poor countries, the LDCs, the African countries, because we don't want any of our friends to be punished because we are exercising our sovereign right to do so. So we sacrifice for that collective out of maturity and responsibility because we do not act in an irresponsible way. Thank you very much.
Just a couple of quick points, if I may. So do I understand correctly that the bottom line thrust of your comments and announcements here is that you want to develop this, shall we say, revised, improved resolution, and you want to have the 10th Emergency Special reconvened and bring that resolution to the 10th Emergency Special? And if I may, if you could identify your colleagues. I know Ambassador Second, of course, Ambassador Abdelaziz. If you could identify the other colleagues, I would much appreciate it.
This is the Ambassador of Bangladesh, and he is the chair of the Ministerial Council of the OIC. And this is Ambassador Sabri of Algeria, and he is the current chair of the League of Arabs, the Arab group in New York. And Fredun, the ambassador of Turkey, and Turkey is sitting as the chair of the OIC summit, which convened 2 emergency summits related to this question, including the question of protection. Thank you very much. And Ambassador Fodesek, Fodesek, he said
I know Ambassador Second, I know Ambassador Abdelaziz.
So I covered the others, and I guess you know who I am. By now, remember what Nelson Mandela said,